Welcome to Energy Lab. I'm Roslyn, your host, and this is our first episode. And to give you a little bit of context for Energy Lab, we're new and we understand that navigating the modern world that's full of screaming chaos and constant input from all directions is a lot. And here at Energy Lab, the idea is to cut through that chaos. And we're going to talk to people that can help us learn to manage our energy. That can be your physical energy, your mental energy, your spiritual energy. It's all energy, and here we will navigate our way through that. Today, we have our first guest, and I chose my first guest because it's someone I know, and I knew it would be more enjoyable to do this for the first time with someone that I know. So, Blaise, you are a hard man to sum up. You've done a lot. You have a very mixed background, culminating in special forces, but before that you were in the modeling industry, you're in hospitality, you're in airline industry. You have many strings to your bow. Welcome to my podcast, Energy Lab.
Thank you, Roslyn. Thank you for having me here in this beautiful place. I'm still amazed by the view, by the way. Wow, I haven't seen London that way, so happy to be here. Thank you for your invitation.
Happy to have you here. So, shall we dive in?
Let's go. I'm ready.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, for people that are about to listen to us, like I may have a very strong French accent, so I do apologize for that. I will try my best to be understandable.
I'm not worried about that. Blaise is in London because we were doing a workshop yesterday. And for those of you who haven't had the chance to come to one of Blaise's workshops, I recommend you check it out. There will be monthly workshops in London for the rest of the year, so keep an eye on his website for the dates for that. It's really fun. We'll talk about your 5 tools later on in the podcast, but Blaise is a coach and he helps people find their way and make sense of life and achieve their goals. And we'll get into all of that. But before we commence on all of that, I think we should go back a little bit to the beginning, to Normandy and to your early life and where you come from. And let's start there. Let's start at the beginning with you. Tell me about that. Tell me about the younger Blaise.
Yeah, so again, thank you, Roslyn, for having me in your podcast here. Pleasure for me. And I will try to answer, by the way, all of your question from a very deep perspective. And I will try on purpose to be as raw as I can on my life, because I want to give you value today. And I also want to give you a value to your audience and people like taking the time to listen to us and to watch us, by the way. So yeah. I'm really going to try to put everything on the table.
I appreciate that. I welcome that.
You deserve it. You deserve it. So yeah, my background, well, my name is Blaise. It's always hard to sum up our life or where we're from. I was born in Normandy. I'm 36 years old. Was born in very, I would say, humble background. We say low middle class, yeah, from Normandy. Had a dad that was an electrician, and my mom, she was actually a cleaner. Had a pretty, I would say, rough childhood. I didn't like my childhood, to be honest. And I think my childhood, by the way, set the foundation of what I would become years later. Kind of bullied, zero confidence, had a dad that was kind of pretty tough, I would say, to stay polite, if not more than tough. Been kicked out of when I was a kid, kicked out from the house when I was 7 years old because I brought some very bad mark from school. You know, in France, every June you end up school and you have to bring to your parents the kind of the sum up of the year, of the trimester. We call it le trimestre en français, in French. Bringing that, I say no. He said, all right, you're free to leave. And I will literally end up at 7 years old, spending some time outside actually for a few hours And I would remember that my grandparents are not living so far, so I would manage to find my way to their place, and I would come back at home so the day after. But yeah, that's the kind of environment I grew up with. I didn't have any kind of role model. I created my role model somehow a little bit later. Most of them were like American action heroes. Schwarzenegger, Stallone, those were the guys that kind of were enlightening my life at that time. I grew up with this will to become someone, or at least to do something with my life. Didn't particularly had the right setup young, but at least I had a mom that was very caring somehow. So she was balancing that kind of further hardship that I was facing. Yeah, grew up and work my ass off to try things, and I've decided that I would spend later on, and make it kind of short, but literally spend all my 20s experiencing things and trying things, and that led me around the world trying to open some business, failing, going into French Special Forces, having an amazing time there. Hospitality after that, and now, yeah, I kind of found my path after 16 years of experiencing life. I literally spent all my 20s, and I say for everybody listening to us now, if you're 18, 17, 16, 15 years old, I know now it's kind of trendy to say that, but I really experienced my 20s trying things and failing and trying again. And yeah, I think now I'm on another path, and that's the path that really makes sense to me. It's like helping others.
Yeah, well, to that end, Blaise Latitude, that's your brand, that's your current trajectory, which is mentoring, coaching, empowering others, mindset, and that's the culmination of all of your experience up to now. How would you say you channel your last 16 years of living and making mistakes and being in the special forces and achieving all of these really difficult things? How do you channel that into Blaise Latitude? How is that? How does one create the other?
Blaise Latitude, and by the way, if you want to guys know more about it, just go to blaiselatitude.com, www.blaiselatitude.com, and you would find out more about my story. Because now I think maybe I've been too fast saying it, but if you want to know more, Blaise Latitude is really the thing I was in need when I was a teenager, when I was a young adult, a little bit later, navigating some crossroad of my life. It's really the tool and the person, or it's a creation that it's something I've done for myself when I was by myself. And Blaise Latitude is just, as you mentioned, it's leveraging all my childhood in those 16 last years of experiencing things and work experience around the world to help others find their way and their path as I found mine.
Who would you say your abilities are best suited to helping? Like, who's your audience? Who do you think you're the best role model for? I kind of already know the answer to that, but I'd like to know what you think. I'd like to know where you stand with that. Who do you think you're a role model for?
I think role model is a is a huge word.
Okay. Well, who do you want to be? Who's your who do you want to help?
I want to help people being lost, like I was. It may be the child, 15, 16 years old, being lost in this new contemporary labyrinth that we have to navigate. This social media, like this digital world that is actually everywhere, challenging our habits or coutumes. I wanna help the single mom that is facing trouble with her kids because she's lost herself and she has some dreams and things she want to do. I want to be here for the 24, 23 just graduated student that actually have been working his ass off or her ass off for years And now just discovering that AI is here and she doesn't know what to do. I want to be here for the 40 years old guy that is actually just realizing he's doing something he's hating. He want to go for something else, but he's scared to go for that. I would say I like critical moments. I spend my life navigating critical moments in critical times. And today I want to be here for people navigating those critical times. I think I'm at my best when I'm helping others navigating through that. As you mentioned, I have the privilege to serve in the French military, particularly in the special operation. And I need to help others, and I love helping others. And if I become a coach, as you said, by the way, we could come back to the word and definition of what is a coach. But I think actually people don't really need the coach. People need a plan and the confidence to accomplish that. And I want to try to help everyone to find his or her own plan and accomplish that to be happy and fulfilled.
Can we talk a little bit about the special operations time period in your life? It's quite an extreme period with facing extreme situations. What do you think drew you to want to do such an extreme job?
That's interesting question. I genuinely believe that our childhood has a huge impact in our life, in our adult time. And I do think that we either build ourselves copying the models we had when we were young as a child, or we're gonna grow up and against that models, I think. And I think if I ended up like willing to go in French special operations is because I wanted to prove myself that I was capable.
Arguably, that's operating in some of the most extreme situations that a human being can find themselves in, right? So facing life or death. Were you ever scared for your life? How did you cope with fear? Were you scared of dying?
Scared of dying, fears. That's the thing when you are in the military, and as you mentioned, in special operations, there are notions. Those notions are constantly with you. I was scared sometimes, but you learn to work with the fear, and actually, you want to really much reduce this fear to the minimum. And actually, you need fear to operate, because it's kind of a regulatory. It's something that's gonna allow you to make something or really prevent you to do something. But that being said, I never been scared of dying. I think it's a protocol, it's a process when you go to those units, and especially the one I was, where you have to be ready to die because you wanna serve a greater good that you think is a greater good. But also, and I want to stay a little bit on that. People talk a lot like nowadays, you hear like going to war. Yes, it's war. So war is all about contact. It's a confrontation. You have to be able to be okay with the probability of losing your life. And people have to work not. And I've done that work. You have to be ready to die. If you want to live in some kind of extreme, you have to cope with that, to this probability.
So that reminds me of a conversation we had recently when we were talking about the dark star and living with the dark star mindset, or living on that planet, as we called it when we had that conversation, and then transitioning out of that. So I found that really illuminating, that you considered it to be almost a different reality to when you then came out of the special forces and back on this side of things. How did it feel to move from one reality to the other? How did you navigate that? I know you had trouble with that. So how did you find your identity outside of that when you left? Or how did you make the transition from the dark star to the bright star, if you want to call this side of things?
Yeah, so I have left the military, by the way, not too long ago, and I definitely had a transition to another word, which was the word of hospitality. And yes, the transition was hard, very hard, and I didn't see it coming. We always have a tendency to think that things happen to others, but never to us. We think that we're strong, we think that we are mature, but we're never mature enough, and we're never strong enough. And yeah, I left, and I left a word for another word. I left a word where basically all my life was turned and focused on training and getting ready to accomplish missions, to another word where to actually civilian world, where actually there's the routine is different and the risks are different.
Yeah, and what about the fact that sorry to interrupt you, but what about you also operate as a team? When you're in special operations, you're always operating as a team, and when you transition, you're no longer part of that team. So did you find that losing that brotherhood, that support system, was something that you grieved or found difficult?
Yeah, you work with your team, and your team is everything. I want to say that they know you better than your wife, your girlfriend, your family.
I've heard you say that before. I find that so interesting.
You're going to be deployed with them abroad, and it's literally your family. You're going to very complicated places, and the only link that links you to your country, to your family, is your teammates. So it's hard to leave a world where you kind of work with your family to another world where you're kind of living that bond and not being able to rely on people as much as you was able to rely on others in another world. But to come back to what we were talking about, the dark star.
Yeah.
Being in the military, like I used to say, I was living on the dark star planet. And I had to leave this dark star planet to come back to the civilian planet, I would say. The dark star planet, where I was for several years, is actually a world that is gray. I don't know if people can see outside the view we're having now, but above London, it's kind of gray. Same weather you can find in Normandy, very gray weather. It's maybe raining, stop raining, raining again. It's a weather that is gloomy. And this weather symbolizes what you have in your heart. You are in a kind of a mode where all your life is gray. You're kind of shutting down your emotions at some point because you're getting ready. All your body is ready. Constantly, you're training your body, you're training your mind for the confrontation. And because every day you can be called and be sent somewhere, every day become a day where you can and probably will have to play all in your life. So you kind of live in a life, I don't know if it's clear what I'm saying, but
it is. Yeah.
You kind of live in a life where everything is shut down that is not useful. You're just focusing on, okay, I have to be ready. I have to be ready. I have to be ready.
Like there's all this bandwidth of light, but you're just existing in this place where everything is very laser focused.
a tunnel, a gray tunnel.
Yeah.
And in this tunnel, you're going to face confrontation.
Yeah.
You may face violence. You may face darkness. You may face tragedy. You may face tears, sadness. And you're getting ready for that every day. And you live with that every day. And again, it was my perception of that. I needed to be in that. I was a little bit distant even with my family when I was in the military. People have a tendency to say that when you go in special operation, people change a little bit. But
Have you changed?
I did change. I did change, 100%. I did change. I did change. Like, you have to change. You have to change to become better on some things.
Would you say you know yourself a lot better now because you've done so many difficult things?
I, yes, know myself better. I think I know where I can go if I want to make something happen. I kind of know a little bit where my limits are, even if I do believe that we never really know where our limits, but you always can go and grab something more. And for everybody listening or watching us now, you always can go and do more. So actually, it taught me a lot. I was weak before going to the military, before going to special operation. I was weak. After a special operation, I became, for me, a man.
But you spent 2 years in selection trying to get in, so you can't.
Almost, yeah.
So you must have at some point become strong enough to get in.
Yeah, but there is so many X in the equation that may prevent you to succeed and get into the teams. And it's not, selection is just a filter to get in, but actually it's what's happening inside. When you're inside, it's that you are changing a little bit. And again, I don't want to sound pessimistic, and when I use the image of dark star and stuff, some other guys may say for them it was different. I'm just sharing with you my point of view and some of the friends I've been with in this particular state of mind that you are in. That all your life is turned and committed toward a particular goal that is to get ready for a confrontation.
Yeah, but it's a world of extremes. It's extreme bonds, extreme friendship, extreme training, extreme situations. So you're living at a heightened state all the time. Is that why you felt it became the time for you to leave? Because you needed to move back off the dark star and back into mainstream reality with the rest of us?
It's an interesting question. So why did I leave the military? I left the military because for me, military special operation, I was extremely proud to serve my country and to serve the units I've been serving in. But I've lived my life like chapters, and I didn't want to be defined by the military. Neither wanted I to be defined by the aviation, as I've been working before. Neither wanted I to be defined by the nightlife or by the show business and stuff that I've been in when I was a little bit younger as well. It's chapters. We are chapters. For some of us, the chapters are longer. Some people may spend 20 years in same branch, be super happy. In my case, the chapters are shorter. And I've accomplished things I never thought I would accomplish in my life. Being in French special operation, I discovered more myself that I could even imagine. I have fulfilled my dream kid's job that was belonging to elite unit. But that chapter, after several years, was for me, I think, over. And I moved on. I moved on.
I think this is going to be one of your longer chapters, the leveraging of your knowledge to help others. I feel like that's going to be a long one for you. So coming to that, the Blaise Latitude approach to achieving your goals. Again, we did a workshop yesterday in London, and there will be more workshops coming up, so look out for those. But what I noticed the most yesterday was that what you're teaching and your methods seem to be really probably the most, I mean, they're great for everybody, for all age groups, but I think at this moment in time, possibly the people who would most benefit from learning from you is probably younger people like you say, who are just coming out of the end of their education, or teens. We had a teen at the workshop, and we also had a parent of teens.
True, yeah.
There, and they were very alert to what you were teaching. And can I ask about the 5 tools? I particularly like to talk about what you say about mobile phones, because that's one of them. Or perhaps we could talk about finding your mission a little bit. That's one of the tools. Could we talk a tiny bit about that? But then could we talk about things like the motivation killers and whatnot? Can you tell us a little about your tools?
Yeah.
One, and go a little into it.
Yeah, definitely. So, we hosted a workshop yesterday. It was very nice to see how people was about to react to that, and especially as you mentioned, like some parents with their teenagers. Because I think I'm just putting the finger on things that are not really much answered the proper way. So, by the way, it's based on the book. So the book should be released by the end of the year. So it's 5 tools to achieve your goals and beyond. So, and by the way, if you want to find more about that, just have a look on my website, and you will. And one of those tools is your social circle and your physical environment. And in the physical environments, I talk about the phone and the cell phone, and how the cell phone can be an extraordinary leverage to accomplish your dreams and to reach your goal, if you properly know how to use that. But it's actually a killer, right?
Say it again, just in case they missed it.
It's a dream killer. Your phone is a dream killer. I think there is hundreds of millions of people, million people, 100,000 of people that have gave up on their dreams because they have seen a piece of content that broke their sparkle. I do believe that. What is even worse, sorry, MZ. Yeah. And what is even worse, is that those people, they just didn't realize that they have given up on a dream because the content that they have watched on their phone they are even not realized that it has switched off their dreams.
See, I misinterpreted that. When you say it's a dream killer, I thought my initial response was, oh, it kills your dreams because it's a distraction. Because if you are trying to achieve something and you want to be motivated and you need to have all your energy on being an entrepreneur or starting something.
That's the second part of it.
It's a massive energy suck. Like, it takes all that energy and just funnels it away. It's a time suck. It's just gone.
100%. The second part of that.
Yeah.
Second part of that, it's killing your dreams also because it's disturbing you. It's disturbing you to get focused, actually. And when you want to accomplish something, you want to reach a mission, a goal, you have to be focused. And again, the phone is amazing if you know how to leverage that, if you know how to use that to reach your dreams and your goals. But if you get trapped into this kind of scrolling world, into this noise that is constantly there in your pockets, most probably it's going to be harder for you to make it. Focusing is important. In all the things I've done in my life, I got focus. I've set a goal I wanted to reach, I set a point, set a plan, methodology, and I applied that. And everything that was kind of disturbing me from that, I just switch it off.
Including your phones?
Including my phone. I spent a year without a phone at 28 years old.
Really?
Spent a year without a cell phone. I just had an iPad actually. But I had no Instagram on that. It's because I have a game of space shuttle or something. Amazing. Like I was trying to land a space shuttle on the Earth for that.
And what?
I didn't have a smartphone.
Yeah.
I just had if people wanted to reach me, I had like a old phone Nokia stuff. I even wasn't paying attention.
Brick phone.
It was my year prior, like preparation to go in French special operation. I took a year off where I was just conditioning myself and physically getting ready, and I removed that.
So what's your strategy now? What would you say to young people if they're feeling that their phone is a liability and not an asset, or their phone is time sucking, which it does for everyone? What's your advice to people to what's your strategy for that? What would you say to someone who is 18 or 17 and, spending 6 hours a day on their phone? What should they do?
I think people spend a lot of time in their phone because they are bored somehow. At my time, when I was young, I was bored. And again, I'm not playing the guy that is 80 years old. It was not that long ago. When I was bored, I was going out, trying to meet with some friends, play cycle, climb into the trees, do archaic stuff that could be today considered as archaic. But nowadays, I know the thing is here. That is here. So we can't avoid that, right? So we have to cope with it and we have to navigate through that. So my first question actually would be to young guys that having your cell phone in the room is like, are you aware that this piece, digital piece, a technological piece, is literally bringing the world into your bedroom? How amazing is that? How amazing is that? You can literally find anything with your cell phone. So realize that what you have is actually an opportunity. Second thing is like be disciplined with that. We're disciplined sometimes to go to the gym. We're disciplined to go to sleep at 8:30. We're disciplined to wake up at 7 a.m. Why wouldn't we be disciplined to use our phone at very strategical moment during the day? Why wouldn't I be disciplined with my phone? Again, the phone can do great things, but it can also hurt you. It can hurt your confidence. It can hurt your self-esteem. It can make you believe that at 20 years old, you should be having a Ferrari and having 50 girlfriends or boyfriend.
But that's not reality at all.
That's not reality. But when you are 14 years old and your parents are not really aware of what's happening in your life, this little device is kind of parenting you, but in the good way or in the bad way.
That's tragic.
And our youngsters and even the adults nowadays, they think that this is the life. So as a parent, as friends, as mentor, as coach, I think we have a duty to make people aware, our friends in our social circle, that let's leverage that to our own benefits. Let's try to use the algorithm to our own strategic successes. You want to become aircraft pilots? Okay, try to watch more content toward that. Try actually to use that instead of watching random videos and just scrolling. Watch things that are going to get you closer to what you want to become or what you want to do. Use it. Don't be used by that little device. That would be my word. Don't be a victim of it.
That's good advice. Can we talk about, I wanted to touch on masculinity with you. I know, it's a good one.
Masculinity.
Yeah, I think that in this modern era that we are living in, it's a hot topic. I think personally, as a mother of a teen, I think there are not enough good masculine role models now. I think it's a very confusing time for young men to be trying to navigate and grow up. And I think there are not enough good masculine role models in the world right now. So, yeah, Tell me how you feel about modern masculinity. What's your take on that?
Modern masculinity.
Well, masculinity.
Or masculinity.
Masculinity now in 2025.
Okay.
What is it? How would you define it? How do you define your version of masculinity? You're a masculine man, clearly. You're a role model, I think, for younger people. This is why you're great. Well, no, you are, and you've achieved great things. But how do you distill that? How do you teach people that now? How do we pass this on?
I've seen that nowadays there is this trend on YouTube, which is I don't know how you say it in English, masculinity content creator, or those guys that are actually promoting a kind of over masculinity to teens, to...
Oh, there's some very extreme...
I've heard about this kind of trends, the masculine trend, I don't know how they call that. Well, if you think you need to promote masculinity nowadays, I think, and if you have people consuming that content, I think there is something maybe probably not going wrong. And if there is people using that for teenagers and for young adults, I think there is a problem somewhere. So basically, what is my vision of masculinity? Masculinity, and again, it's my definition, and I hope I won't hurt anyone right there. Masculinity is being strong, but not showing it obviously and over-claiming it. Masculinity for me, it's a cold strength of behaving and acting. Masculinity is the capability to say and to express very emotional, deep emotional things and still being strong. It's admitting that you can be weak sometimes. And it's okay. Masculinity is often getting confused with kind of another...
Like bravado or toughness, or
exactly,
like being a tough guy.
Yeah. And I think we don't get it right. The kind of role model I had when I was young, I'm going to correct that. The people that have impacted me the most in my life, men, were guys that, were kind of in shape, yes, that were charismatic, but most of all, that they were able to make you feel a sense of sensitivity and weakness in a frame of strength. Masculinity, and I think I will define it like that. It's constantly facing obstacles, constantly saying, I'm going to be strong to face them, constantly saying, I'm never going to never look weak and emotional and sensitive. And yeah, I think there is something in that.
So you can be vulnerable, but without being weak.
I'm vulnerable.
Yeah.
I'm vulnerable. I have faced things and some kind of tragedies in my life that as we all face. And I'm going to be falling a little bit for some time. But the idea behind that is to getting back up and to be able to admit that and to recognize that. You're strong because you know what weakness means. People who has never experienced weakness will never be strong, and they will never have the full understanding of what it is to be strong. Same with masculinity. You will never be very masculine if you have never experienced the sense of vulnerability, of sensitivity.
And going back to what you said earlier, you said you became a man in the special forces. So do you think your sense of masculinity changed during that time because you evolved?
Special operation has, for me, revealed the sense of humanity. And this sense of humanity have reinforced my masculinity. Because now, I think I'm masculine. But more than that, I will value the privilege we have to be alive, to be living, to be loving, to be crying, to be sad. This is a privilege. We shouldn't be, again, prisoner of some of those emotions, sadness and so on. But we should be grateful to be able to feel them because it makes us human and living. Masculinity, again, my masculinity, yes, has evolved. And your masculinity is definitely not the same when you are 45 years old and when, for example, I was 18 or 16. You have a lot of doubt, self-doubt. So your masculinity is a little bit challenged there. But again, you keep learning, it's constant progress. And you should never overplay or overact masculinity. Because by the way, I'm saying that to those youngsters that are listening to us and they think they have to go to the gym or they think they have to speak badly to people, or they think they have to behave in a certain way to be masculine. And it's wrong. It's a full combo. You don't need to be mean with people to be masculine. You don't need to treat others like they're inferior to you to be masculine. You should be noble with others. You should, yes, go to the gym to have a good shape, to be able to carry yourself and support others in case they're facing things. Masculinity, at the end of the day, it's a constant work for a man to be better, not to look better, but to be able to feel better and to know yourself better. A bit philosophic what I said.
No, it's deep, but I think it's a modern mystery for some people, and I think people are struggling to navigate that right now. I think people struggle to navigate how that looks now, particularly young men. Like I said, the world has changed, and expectations have changed. Women have changed. Women are more independent, have jobs.
Exposition of wrong models are fucking this up. Coming back to cell phone.
Yes.
Now I'm telling you that a 20 years old guy should be a millionaire having a Ferrari and 15 girlfriends. You're living in northern London, or I don't know where, north of France, and you see that. Your parents are workers. You're just trying to have a good life, making your best of it, and you see that. What message is that? How come this dude that is telling me he can make millions in Instagram, and me, I'm there, and he's telling me that this masculinity is behaving like that with people, showing off? No, some of the message, there is too many messages.
I agree. That's one of the reasons I've started this podcast, is to try and cut through the chaos of, for me, all the social platforms, the digital platforms. For me personally, the way I see it, the way I visualize it, is just a million people all shouting their message at the same time. Some of them are just saying what other people are saying. Some of them are saying very unfounded and, unfactual, unscientific things. And some of them are saying some really interesting and genuinely fascinating, helpful, life-enhancing information. So it does become about cutting through the chaos, cutting through the noise. How do you do that? What advice do you have for anyone, not just teens, who I think are particularly vulnerable to this, but to anyone, how do you cut through the noise? How do you find the good messages? Or how do you filter it for you?
I would say, try to find your why. Try to find your why.
And do you have advice on how to do that?
You're gonna most probably be exposed to this noise and to all those messages if you are shakeable, if you can be moved. You don't want to be shakeable and you don't want to be moved by all those noise and messages. And one of the ways to not be moved, and to come back to that, but knowing where you want to go and finding what is your mission, what is your purpose. You can be 14, you can be 25, 30, 40, 50. We all have a mission or something to fulfill. As much as we have human beings, we have different purposes. So my advice would be simple. Try things. Try things. And see what makes you feel all right. Go to this cooking course. Go to this MMA camp. Go to this climbing course. Find some things that you're gonna like. Try writing. Try music. Find something that is going to force you to be focused and that you're gonna like, actually. And most probably, because you're gonna be attracted to this thing you have found out, you're gonna just focus on that thing and kind of let those noise and all those messages on the side.
And that might be, you might try 1, 2, 3, 5, 10 things. It might be the 11th thing.
Absolutely. I have tried hundreds of things in my life. I like to use this metaphor of doors that are open. In our mind, we have a lot of open doors. Things we want to try, we didn't try because we are scared. Things we didn't try because they're expensive. Things we didn't try because it's not practical to go and try them. Things we didn't try because it's not socially accepted to try them. Things we never tried because didn't have time, not opportunity. And let's try to tackle a little bit of those doors in our mind. Let's try those things. And again, life is short. Life is long and life is short. If your life is organized, life is long. If your life is disorganized and you don't have a focus, I think your life may seem a little bit short. Try to experiment things. As I say, open those doors that you have in your mind, those things you want to try. And it works for anyone. The mom is going to tell me, but I have my kids at home, I can't really have time to try these things. I'm overbooked by work, I cannot. I think you can find 1 hour by week trying something or researching online. I think it's doable. If not early in the morning, maybe later at night, or maybe during your lunch break, we all have time.
Segment a bit of time just for that, to allow yourself to explore a new avenue. Just give yourself that.
Yeah. Just don't be lazy.
Yeah.
And just don't be lazy. And just jump, try this thing.
That's really good advice for any age. Can we talk about neuroscience?
We can.
And visualization.
Yeah.
Tell me about, I know you're a big user of visualization, and I am as well. I've opened 2 businesses and I did visualize a lot to make both of those happen. And the more research I do and the more the more I understand neuroscience, I'm beginning to understand that visualization plays a huge part in being able to get something out of your mind and into reality. But I know it's a big tool of yours, and I'd love you to tell me how you use it.
By the way, for those who don't know, Roslyn, she had a great career. She has a great career. She has run different kind of businesses in the wellness. So she's very, very, very much aware about those topics. So we have to to be squared away on my answer. Visualization for me is key. It's key. It's a tool we've been given, and we have to use that. Visualization for me, it's an incredible asset, and I've used it a tremendous number of times. I think before it was something seen like, now I think it started to be understoodable and accepted. And there is a lot of studies that have popped up this last decades showing the power of visualization, imagining things, and how actually the brain and the mind can be powerful in trying to represent something that has not happened yet, that we're about to do. For one of the biggest things that happened in my life, biggest challenge, I have used visualization, and it helped me to overcome that. It's not a 100% success, but visualization for me is much more like training myself. I remember like before joining the military, I would literally visualize myself every evening, sitting on my bed, opening my window, even in winter, so I can get the wind, imagining myself being in an aircraft, and for example, about to jump in parachute. We have to go to jump school when you go to military unit, and you jump from an aircraft, like we call that static line, for example. And one after the other, you hold the line and you have to jump. And I was imagining myself already doing that. So the day I had to really do that in real, I was not really scared or afraid, even though I have never jumped before.
Really?
I was just, I visualized it 100 of times doing that.
So because you'd visualized it many, many times, when you actually found yourself in what would be quite a scary situation and something new, you felt comfortable, you felt ready for it, you felt okay.
Yeah, I visualize myself in combat. I visualize myself in particular moments. And when those moments happened, my mind was ready. It's like a training. It's like instead of having your brain or your mind being surprised by some event, smell, a context, or a situation you have never faced before, the fact that you have visualized it, you actually train your mind for that day or that moment. So when the thing is happening, your mind is like, oh, I kind of already lived that before. Okay, no worries.
And you also visualized yourself surviving extreme situations as well. I think that's valuable.
I won't go much into details, but
No.
I have even visualized tragedies, very tragedies, and how I would react to those tragedies. Yeah.
To be prepared.
Yeah. And I'm not saying it's it removes 100% of the kind of adrenaline, not at all. But somehow you put yourself out there mentally before. So you're just replaying it physically.
I think that speaks very highly to the effectiveness of visualization, to say that you've used it, to get yourself there, and then also to get yourself through those environments or situations. So it speaks to the efficacy of that method in extreme situations. What about in less extreme situations? One of the creators I follow on Instagram is Emily on the Brain, Em on the Brain. She's a neuroscientist, and she talks about, I love her, by the way, she's a fantastic creator.
Yeah.
She talks about the more unhinged she uses the word unhinged. She says the more unhinged your visualizations are, the better. She said the bigger you dream, the brighter you imagine things, like the more unhinged visualizations you create, the more you're training your brain to accept that that's a possible reality that you will be in, but also to look for opportunities that align to that reality. Would you agree with that? Or have you used it in that way? I mean, she's a neuroscientist, so I guess it's...
So you mean like...
She says dream big. Like the more unhinged, the more crazy your dreams are, the more you align your brain to accept that as a possible. Well, let's talk about perceived reality. So I know that that's something you teach in your workshop about reality is perceived. And that depends on what we train ourselves to accept, or what we train our brains to accept as reality. And you say there's no good or bad situation, there's just perceived good or perceived bad. So to that end, if you're visualizing is like, do you dream big? Do you believe in big visualizations, like big extreme ones? Or you're saying using it for little small steps, or just use it for everything?
Yeah, especially if you have, definitely yes, you should dream big. You should dream big. You should never dream about being the number 2, but the number 1. And you should use visualization to see yourself being the number 1. Probably you would never become the number 1, by the way. But you will try everything, and you use everything to make it happen. And as I say, there is indeed no reality. There is only a perceived reality. You may face a situation, because our brain, our cognitive system is cold. It's like there is no emotion in that. Our neurons have no emotions somehow. They just perceive things how we want them to perceive them. We're going to face a situation, you may tell me, oh, it's a problem. Maybe I will tell you, okay, it's a problem, but actually it's a chance probably, because it gives me access to this, or it's a chance for me to push myself to solve that, so I'm getting better. There is no bad situation. Again, this sentence is here for a long time. There is no good or bad situations. There is only opportunity and only people reacting to situations. So it's how you react. And by the way, military is good for that. In the military, like they teach you, like you're gonna face situations. Will you crumble and say, "Oh, it's good"? No, you just treat the problem. So anything happening to you tomorrow, just treat the problem, and make sure you treat the problem to your advantage. And I do believe life is sending us momentum. Life is going to send you momentum, opportunity. And by the way, for everyone who is agree what I'm saying, just comment in the video downstairs if you agree what I say. Life is going to send you momentum. And I do believe that every day life is sending us momentum. And you have to seize them. But most of the time we don't seize those opportunity. We don't seize those momentum. We have to be more aware of that.
Because of our perceived reality.
Because of the perceived reality, because of how we have trained our mind, how we have conditioned ourselves to not be super aware about that. Everything is an opportunity if you look at that. This podcast is an opportunity for me. For you, it's an opportunity as well.
Yeah.
Maybe you're going to say something amazing.
Maybe you're going to.
Reused by 100,000 people there. Maybe I'm going to say something
I think you have said
weird
things.
But there is no reality. There is only perceived reality. And it's our duty to trick our mind, to make sure that everything happening to us is good or perceived as good.
So you're saying what some people would see as a dangerous situation or a negative situation, if you have a flexible mind or you're able to pivot that, you can always perceive a situation in a more positive light, or you can alter your perception.
To some extent, I think yes, of course. Like if you don't want to put yourself in a very dangerous situation, because definitely sometimes there is more bad than good.
I'm not saying put yourself in. I'm just saying when we find ourselves inadvertently in, I don't know, just something scary or something difficult, you're saying you can find the positivity in that?
Yeah, you find an opportunity to overcome that. You have an obstacle in front of you, like are you going to turn your back and go away? Probably not the best thing to do. Try to overcome that. And
sorry to interrupt. I was going to say, you believe in going towards problems, not away from them, right? That's one of your...
I wouldn't say going towards problem.
Well, okay.
I would say going towards challenges.
Yes.
Things that that you know are going to make you greater at the end of the day when you overcome them. All the things I've done in my life so far, they were the kind of spirit of challenge. And it's the thing that I didn't know if I could make them and if I could succeed in it. The first kind of job I had in different kind of world and environment, in the luxury, I used to work for a French caviar brand. Didn't know if I could make it. When I went into the military, do you think I thought at the beginning I could make it after the selection? Yes, I have this belief that is important, this kind of confidence. Yes, I think I can accomplish that. But you always have this kind of little voice saying, do you know how many guys make it? Do you know how many guys get injured before the end?
So you filter that out. Can I ask you another question? Yeah. I know you probably haven't finished that, but we need to wrap up soon. I want to know what your daily routine looks like. Like, what's the day in the life of Blaise? Like, how do you manage yourself? You know, your fitness, your health, your mental health. How does that work for you? What is a snapshot of that? And I also want to know, in the next 7 minutes, what you would say to, say, a 16 or 17-year-old or 18-year-old boy or young man who's listening to this and is looking for a masculine role model, or how to live his life, or how to be better, or how to grow into something successful, as someone who's achieved what you've achieved. What do you have to say to those young, soon-to-be men? What's your message for them?
So my routine. I have 7 minutes to wrap it.
Day in the life of Blaise.
My routine.
Message to the teens of now.
Okay.
Specifically boys, because I think you're a great male role model.
I do think the routine I have, by the way, now is not the routine I had when I was younger. So people should have that in consideration. The routine of
but people want
36 years old,
what you're doing now.
But I'm glad to share it. Sleeping is important. So I start with the sleeping. Sleeping is important. Everybody say that. You need to sleep. Find the timing you need. We all know now how we can do that. Take a Sunday. Don't put any alarm. Try to fall asleep, and it's at what time you're waking up. Try to reproduce that 2-3 times, and then you're gonna know like the timing you need to be properly recovered. Rested.
Yeah. That's a clever technique. So just do it on a day when you don't have to get up.
Especially for teens.
Yeah.
So I wake up. And I would just have kind of a glass of water. I would probably have a shaker as well.
A shaker, like a protein shake.
Exactly, protein shake.
And you take creatine? I know you take creatine.
I wouldn't take creatine early in the morning. I would take it later in the day.
Oh, interesting.
By the way.
Okay.
So I would have this shaker, and I would go for a run, some run. I would try to put in 5K half run. We'll come back, go for a breakfast. Work. So now, because I'm in the coaching industry, so I try to have some calls.
And you're writing a book.
Consultancy, working on my book. I would do that until 12, something like that. Have a lunch. Pretty light lunch, a lot of proteins. I'm a big fan of proteins. Meat, chicken, bit of carbs, rice on the side. Always almost eating the same thing. Veggies, we must put veggies.
When do you work out?
Say again?
When do you work out?
Because it depends nowadays. Nowadays, because I don't have time, I put my workout around the end of the day. But usually I'll have to put my strength training in the morning. I feel much more competitive in it. So currently we have my lunch, back at work. Work until 5, 6, have my workouts, strength training. I always put, by the way, some pull-ups at the beginning, just to prove myself I still can do pull-ups. So I do pull-ups. Whatever happens, I put pull-ups at the beginning of our training. No matter what I'm going to do, I will put pull-ups. That's my routine. And after, back at work. And again, what I'm saying, it's my routine at the moment now, but my routine 3 years have changed. If you would ask me what was my routine before going to military, it was insane. I was living like a monk, sleeping, gymming, basically something like that. Nothing much. My body was the primary things I wanted to make sure I wouldn't fail. So Now it has changed. More work, so but you always try to prioritize working out. My message now to a teen. This is a camera.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you who are looking at us, watching us today, my message is the following. You can fuck, no, we can do that, right?
You can swear, but maybe...
You can do anything. 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 Okay? You can do anything you want in life. Anything. You want to become this superstar, you can become this superstar. You want to become a special operator, you can become that. You want to become an athlete, you can. It's just all in your hand. All in your hand.
And they should try lots of things. Like there's no rush.
You have time to try anything. In your 20s, if you can, if you have the opportunity to do that, even before, try things. Talk with your parents. Talk with your closest friends. And try things that maybe you're going to fail or maybe you're going to succeed in, that are going to let you know what you're made for and what is fulfilling you. Do things you like. Don't spend too much time on the screen listening to crap, people telling you things from the other side of the world. You have everything near you. Work out from now. Make your body one of your best and earliest investment possible. It won't bring you money at the beginning. It will bring you a body. It will bring you longevity. It will bring you autonomy. It will bring you strength. And you will see money, by the way, is going to be related to that a little bit later on. Yeah, you're capable. You can do anything. Believe in yourself.
Your body is like a business card, though, isn't it? It says how much.
Yeah, exactly. Your body is a business card. And the earlier you understand that,
yeah,
and most probably your business card is going to look super good later on.
Exactly. It's great advice. Thank you. Yeah. Is there anything else? I've got like 1 more minute. Is there anything that you wish people asked you, or anything you feel like you want to say to our listeners of Energy Lab episode 1, which has been really great having you here. Thank you.
Thanks to you, Roslyn. Well, to everyone listening to us and watching us today, I would say thank you. I will tell them that they are capable of many things. Same of teenagers I just talked to. They are capable of doing anything. And I know things are hard. And things are hard for me too. And don't be a victim of your life. Let's not be a victim of our life. Let's try to be grateful a little bit. Look at us, look around us, and try to find positivity in that. And make your life like a movie, really. Any age you're having now, you can do it. And yeah, if people want to see me or interact with me, or if they agreed with what I've said or not, you can send me a mail.
Yeah.
At blaiselatitude.com. They can visit the website, see more about my story. They can also find me on TikTok and blaise.code. And just say hi, and let's interact and talk.
Yeah, or if they want to change the trajectory of their lives and they don't need a coach, they need a plan, you're the man with the plan.
I think so.
I think so. It's been amazing having you here, Blaise. Thank you so much for being my first guest and for sharing your life insights. It's been really informative and fascinating. So yeah, this has been Energy Lab, episode 1. We have many more interesting, fascinating, life navigating episodes to come. See you next time.